Good Monday to all my fellow traders out there. I hope everybody had a great day or a decent day. It was pretty slow for me, and it was pretty much of my own making. It was kind of by choice that it was slow, but I'll explain that here in a minute. But I want to reemphasize something, and my whole philosophy in my trading is to trade for the skill. I'm trying to develop the skill to make consistent trades, to follow my plan consistently, to develop the best trading plan I can and stick to it. And you do that, you gain consistency by knowledge and by developing that skill. And that's what it takes. I still have people that get mad at me because, they may sign up and they say they can't follow me in the trades and make money. But it's not about following me. It's about learning what I'm doing, learning what I'm looking at. And that's why I try to explain every day before, while I'm looking at a trade, what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at. And while I'm in the trade, what am I looking for to happen? What's my target? What's going to tell me that this trade isn't working anymore? And it's something that you have to develop on your own. Because, every now and then anybody can make a winning trade by copying somebody. But you can't do that consistently. And, over 90% of traders fail that try to do that. They try to find something that just tells them when to get in and when to get out. And, think they can be consistent and make money like that. People that sell you on that, are selling you snake oil. Because trading does not work that way. Now, you may get one person out of 1,000 who gets lucky. That might happen, but guys, you got to learn. I don't care who you learn it from, but you got to learn it, and you got to put the time in, and that's what it's going to take. So make sure, doesn't matter who you learn it from, who you follow, make sure you're learning what they're doing and developing that skill and gaining the knowledge that you need for whatever strategy or whatever system or whatever you're learning. That's what you need to focus on, and not, on everything else. All right, so, I was saying that today was slow by my own choosing or my own doing. I was looking at this morning, the SPY was red, and it was trading pretty weak. So I didn't have any, thought that it was going to push back up, over the 20 and go back green on the day, and, much less push to 50. I thought we were going to gap down. We may push up a little bit, but then sell off. And I was not looking long on anything. Based on what I saw pre-market, I wasn't looking long. And, one of the rare occasions where I didn't even have a watch list, a main watch list. Nothing on the scanner really interests me. So I was just going to sit back and wait and catch some secondary moves. And that was my game plan. But the market never pulled back. It just kept going up and up and up. And of course, I tried a couple of short trades that, didn't amount to much. But I kept it tight. I didn't let it run away from me. And, I managed everything. But this was all my doing. Today was pretty much all my doing by not preparing myself to take long trades. And because I wasn't mentally prepared to go long today, I didn't take any. There were setups. but I just didn't take any. You know, I stuck to my guns and said, hey, I don't need to start the week off, you know, real in a deep hole, because I'm trying to, you know, make something happen. So I didn't. And, you know, after lunch, I just rolled my portable computer and a couple of monitors and just rolled it to the front of the house and was looking out my front window. And then just relaxing. It just, you know, it just wasn't worth trying to force myself on the market. There are going to be days when it's like that. And the smart thing to do is to do something like that. You know, I could have gone to the driving range for an hour or so. Could have done a lot of things. Could have cleaned up the yard a little bit. You know, we had those storms come through and I didn't pick the limbs and branches up that fell yet. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could have done. You know, but, you know, we just have to make sure we don't force ourselves. And had I sat here and looked at these 6 screens, I would have found something to mess with that probably would have kept sending me into a downward spiral. So let's take a look at FL. This was the first one that I traded. And, you know, I waited for it to run up. And I was like, you know, it's running into the 200 here. And I thought we were pulling back off the 200. I got in. It started to work a little bit. And then it came back. I had to stop out. I wasn't looking for it to pull back like this. But it did. And then I got back in just under the VWAP. And, you know, made it down to the 9. But couldn't get to the 100-day. I was really going to take some more off here. And then this was my final target. Down here, red to green. And had we established below red to green on a retest of it, I would have gotten back in. But had a nice plan here, just didn't follow through because, like I said, the market was strong. It was pushing up pretty much all day. You could catch the little pullbacks in the market, but it wasn't really giving you any good follow-through moves. So, didn't really make a whole lot, you know, in FL, but, you know, I felt pretty good because I stuck to my plan here, stuck to my plan here. You know, so 2 well-managed trades. So I was pretty pleased with that. Then came the reversal attempt here on SQ, which I still stand behind this because I was trading on a reversal, you almost have to anticipate a little bit. You know, look at the price action and try to get a feel for what's going on. And it felt like it was weak and it was trying to pull back, and it was. We just didn't get enough sellers off of this. And it turned around and came back. You know, once we got back over here, I stopped out according to plan. And I was like, well, you know, time to go to lunch here. So I'm switching my platform over to my tablet, you know, so I could go. And the first thing I do is accidentally get short here 1,000 shares. And so I went ahead and took it off. So I'm like, I got to get in the car. I can't sit here and do this. You know, I'm in a hurry to go somewhere. So I'm going to get in the car and I'm putting the tablet down, and somehow I get it back in a position. You know, it's a touch screen thing, and I got it up. I guess I should have turned it off. And I got in, but I didn't really see it because it takes a minute for the tablet to switch from my house Wi-Fi to the Wi-Fi in my car. And then when it came back up, I'm doggone in another trade. So I had to sit there and manage this, you know, as best as I could. And got some, took some off here, and then as we started to come back, I took the rest off. It just was just a mess. I had no intention of trading this above the 20 because the 20 was so close. I had no intentions of it. But once we got through it, I thought we were in good shape. But then it just got bought back up, and that was it. And that was just kind of the story of these short trades today. Just nothing really going on. But I was sitting, I was just sitting on the front, in the front room. I just finished eating my lunch, and I'm just sitting here, watching this. And I never came back to my desk until after I got back from picking my son up, and I had one stock that I was watching on earnings that I, when I got back to the room, and let me get that one up. And that was YY. And this one scared me a little bit because this one, like I said in the room, I was looking for this to fade. Everything that I saw, I was looking for this to fade. We sold up into it. I was looking for the sell-off. Well, I got in, and this thing immediately ran up. I mean, this was like extremely quick. It wasn't even quick enough for me to open my mouth. That's just how fast it was. And it was crazy. So I finally got the move down that I was looking for. So I covered some here at the 100-day, but we weren't getting any volume. This thing was not getting any volume. It was taking forever for the earnings to be announced. So I just took it off. I didn't even wait to see if we were going to come back. I just went ahead and took it off and, locked in what it gave me. This could have been a real good trade, but this is one of those instances where, I had to look at what was actually going on. I had my thesis. I knew exactly, what the stock was, what it should have done based on what the research that I did. And, it tried to make the move. Just wasn't enough players to, sellers that bought the same idea that I had. So I had to take it off, but still, made a little bit of money. It kept me from being, starting the week red, but it is what it is. So we'll see tomorrow, see if we can get something, something going here. I mean, really, that's really what we need. We need a big joke, but we're coming to the end of earnings season. The busy part of earnings. We'll still get stocks reporting earnings throughout, but I think the busy part of earnings season has passed, and we may get a little slowdown. So, it should help when we switch over next quarter, and I start trading, a lot smaller size again. Working with you guys that are trying to grow your account. A market that's a little bit slower is going to help. It's going to help you develop your skill. Help you learn how to read price action, because you want to read it in a slower market first versus trying to learn it and read it in a volatile market. It helps when you slow stuff down. All right, guys. So that was it for me today. I feel pretty good. I stuck to my guns. I didn't push it. I didn't force anything. I had a few, loose trades from, my me being slack, and not really paying attention to what I was doing. But having the skill and being able to adjust to any situation I put myself into, I think is ideal, and that's what keeps me consistent. I can make a mistake. I can, take a ill-advised entry on a trade, but I know how to manage it. I feel that I have the discipline most of the time. Now, sometimes I don't. There's a small percentage of time where I may not. But for the most part, I have developed it. And that's all we can ask of ourselves. Because if we weren't some type of risk taker, we wouldn't be a trader at all. I don't think we would be able to do anything if we didn't take some risk. So there are going to be times where I take risk. But, as long as I stick to my risk management plan, and keep that in check, I feel that I'm going to continue to make these strides forward. So you guys have a great evening, and I will see you first thing in the morning.